Welcome to Africa Geotrends, your window into Africa's power, progress, and geopolitics. Asterisk before we dive in, hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss the stories shaping Africa's future. It begins with darkness. Every night, as the sun dips beyond the horizon, tens of millions of Nigerians are plunged into silence. The hum of diesel generators becomes the country's heartbeat. In small villages and sprawling cities alike, power outages are a way of life. Children do their homework under candlelight. Traders close early because refrigerators can't keep the goods cold. Hospitals struggle to keep their lights on during surgery. For decades, Nigeria, Africa's largest economy, has lived in the shadow of its own energy crisis. But that is beginning to change. In early 2025, something historic happened. Nigeria signed a $200 million agreement with We Light, an international renewable energy consortium backed by Ocean Group, EDF, Électricité de France, and Sagemcom, to deploy 400 solar mini-grids and 50 metro-grids across the country's rural areas. The project's mission, to connect between 1.5 and 2 million people to reliable, renewable electricity, and in doing so, raise Nigeria's renewable energy share from 22% to 50% in the coming years. The numbers are staggering. But behind the numbers lies a much bigger story, the rebirth of Nigeria's energy future and a continental model for Africa's clean power transformation. This isn't charity. It's strategy. It's the kind of project that could change the course of a nation and possibly the continent. We Light, which first made waves in Madagascar by building microgrids in remote villages, is bringing that same model to Nigeria. Decentralized, solar-powered grids built and managed locally, with ownership gradually shifting to communities. It's a partnership between innovation, ambition, and necessity. For decades, Nigeria's national grid, often operating below 4,000 megawatts for a population of more than 220 million, has failed to meet even basic energy demands. But with solar mini-grids, the future is brighter, literally and figuratively. Each of these 400 renewable mini-grids can power hundreds of homes, schools, and small businesses. The 50 larger metro grids are designed to energize entire towns, enabling water purification plants, hospitals, internet hubs, and agricultural cold chains to thrive. These systems will also dramatically reduce Nigeria's dependence on diesel generators, which currently produce over 14 gigawatts of off-grid power but release millions of tons of CO2 annually. The new solar infrastructure promises to cut more than 400,000 tons of emissions every year while creating up to 10,000 direct and indirect jobs across construction, engineering, and maintenance. According to Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabu, this is a defining moment for Nigeria's energy sovereignty. In his words, for the first time, our rural communities will not wait for power to come from Abuja. It will rise from their own soil, built by their own hands, and powered by their own sun. It's a simple but profound shift from centralized dependency to local empowerment. Across the Nigerian landscape, the project's impact is already visible. In Oyo State, solar arrays shimmer beside cassava fields, powering processing plants that once sat idle for lack of electricity. In Kano, schools stay open at night for adult education programs. In Jigawa, small farmers use solar pumps to irrigate crops year-round, boosting yields by as much as 40%. In Kaduna, women's cooperatives run sewing machines and cold rooms powered entirely by solar energy. And in Taraba, rural clinics now store vaccines safely in solar-powered refrigerators, saving lives in silence. At the heart of this revolution is We Light's decentralized model, which focuses on training local engineers and technicians to maintain every system. Each installation site includes a community training hub, where locals learn how to assemble and manage the equipment. As We Light CEO Pierre Lefebvre puts it, we are not just exporting energy technology. We are exporting technical independence. That independence matters. Because while international partners fund the start, the ultimate goal is self-sufficiency. Communities contribute micropayments through mobile energy wallets, allowing them to co-own and sustain their grids. Over time, these systems generate enough revenue to fund expansions and maintenance without outside aid. It's a quiet energy revolution, but its implications are loud. The International Energy Agency, IEA, has called decentralized mini-grids the most cost-effective path to universal access across Africa. Their models suggest that by 2040, mini-grids could meet 60% of sub-Saharan Africa's electricity demand, if scaled effectively. Nigeria's $200 million WeLight partnership could be the prototype for that future. And yet, beyond the economics and engineering, there is something deeply human about what's happening. In a small northern town near Mubi, a 22-year-old technician named Hawa Yusuf leads a solar maintenance team. She grew up without electricity, studied renewable energy in Zaria, and now works for WeLight to power her own community. When I was a child, she says, we thought light was something only the rich could afford. Now, I help make it happen. Stories like Hawa's capture what this project truly means: hope that glows in the dark. From a global lens, this deal also shifts geopolitics. Nigeria's energy transformation comes at a time when the world is racing toward decarbonization. With Africa holding 60% of the planet's best solar potential, major players like China, the United States, and the EU are vying for influence in the continent's renewable landscape. But in this case, the initiative is African-led, financed by a blend of public and private capital, and designed for long-term resilience rather than short-term profit. Experts at the African Development Bank, AFDB, believe this model could unlock over $30 billion in private investment if replicated across sub-Saharan Africa. Meanwhile, the World Bank has expressed interest in co-financing future phases, potentially expanding the project beyond Nigeria's borders. For the Global South, Nigeria's renewable revolution is a blueprint, not just for energy, but for dignity, self-reliance, and modern growth. Across the continent, similar models are emerging: Kenya's off-grid solar boom, Rwanda's microhydro initiatives, and Ghana's hybrid mini-grid pilots. But Nigeria's scale, both in population and ambition, makes it the ultimate test. The world is watching because if Nigeria succeeds, it will prove something profound: that Africa can leapfrog the fossil fuel age entirely, moving directly into a clean energy era. In a decade defined by climate anxiety, this story stands out not for its tragedy, but for its triumph. Energy analysts from Bloomberg and EF have already called it the single most important rural electrification project in West Africa. And while $200 million may sound small compared to global energy megaprojects, its ripple effects could light a path worth billions. Each solar installation is more than an energy node, it's a seed of progress. Back in Abuja, the government is developing a Solar 2030 strategy, which envisions a network of mini-grids powering rural agriculture, smart irrigation systems, and even electric transport hubs. Combined with WeLight's rollout, Nigeria could soon generate more distributed renewable power than its national grid produces today. The transformation will not be instant. There will be obstacles, funding gaps, bureaucratic red tape, and maintenance challenges. But the momentum is real, and the mission is clear. In a continent too often portrayed through crisis, this is a story of competence, courage, and confidence. Nigeria's $200 million WeLight partnership marks the dawn of something new. Not just more electricity, but a redefinition of power itself. Power that belongs to the people. Power that stays on. Power that shines through the night. As dusk falls again tonight, in the quiet corners of Nigeria's countryside, there are fewer generators rumbling, fewer candles flickering, and fewer children studying by firelight. Instead, there's the soft hum of solar life, silent, clean, endless. The lights are coming on, and they're here to stay. You've been watching Africa Geo Trends, where Africa's moves shape the world. That if you haven't already, subscribe now and stay ahead of the next big story.